Hello guys, we are going to talk we are going to discuss about the frame size constraints, that is FSC. Here four tasks are given: task 1, task 2, task 3 and task 4 with the respective period, execution time and deadline. If only two tuples are given, then that will be considered as period comma execution, where phase will be 0 and the value of period will be equal to the value of deadline. It means how much the period is, that much will be the value of deadline. It means the value of period and deadline will be equal in this case. So we listed here P1 E1 D1 for T1, P2 E2 D2 for P2, P3 E3 in this similar way. Now for the first of all we calculate the hyper period, which is equals to LCM of periods. Here we have four periods: P1 P2 P3 P4. That is value are 4 5 20 20 respectively, and its hyper LCM is 20, so hyper period is H, capital H is 20. Now for frame size constraints, there are three equations, and the first equation states that the value of frame length or frame size should be greater than is equals to max of the given execution times the here, that is U1 max of E1 E2 to En, where n can have value more than 1 up to infinite value. So we listed here f is greater than equals to max of, we have here four execution times E1 to E4. So E1 E2 E3 4, their values are 1.0 1.8 1.0 and 2.0 respectively, and so the maximum value among the given four execution times is 4. So we should have the frame length greater than is equals to 2. We cannot have the frame length smaller than 2. We can have it as greater than 2 or is equals to 2. Now equation 2 says calculate the factors of hyper period, that is f belongs to, what are the factors of hyper period? 20. The factors of hyper period means factors of 20. Here in this case the value of hyper period is 20 and the factors of 20 are 2 4 5 10 and 20. Now next equation 3 says 2f minus GCD pi comma f is smaller than is equals to di, means deadline. GCD means here greatest common divisor. I will show you how the GCD will be calculated in further ways. So for respective tax 1, the value of GCD 2f minus GCD pi means the period value of period P1 for tax 1 is 4, which is 4 comma f is smaller than is equals to, in this case period is equals to deadline. It means period 4 means deadline is also 4. Similarly for tax 2, 2f minus GCD 5 comma f is smaller than is equals to 5. You can see the video. For tax 3 and tax 4, why tax 3 and tax 4 means 2f minus GCD 20 comma f is smaller than is equals to 20, because the tax 3 and tax 4 both have the periods of 20. We are not talking about how to schedule the given tax with respective to their respective of their execution times. We are calculating the frame length in respective or with respective to the periods. So the periods of both the tax 3 and tax 4 are similar. So we solve the equation 3 in the same way for both the tasks. Why? Because they have their periods 20 similar to each other. So we are not looking for execution times. It doesn't matter whether it has got execution time 1, it has got execution time 2, it doesn't matter. It only matters what is the period of the given task, and the period of the given task of the both tasks is similar. So this on a single equation would work for this, for these two tasks. Okay, now I hope now for frame size 2, we have frame size, we can have on either 2 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20. We have to check among these 5 frame size or frame length, given frame length, which is the best appropriate frame length for this given question. Now for frame size 2 4 5 10, among for these 5, first of all we go for frame size 2. From frame size 2, solve for tax 1, 2 into f 2 into 2 minus GCD 4 comma 2 smaller than is equals to 4. Here frame is replaced by 2. Now 4 2 to the 4 minus GCD of 4 comma 2 is 2 smaller than is equals to 4. Now 4 minus 2 is 2 smaller than is equals to 2. True. Now I'll show you what do you mean by GCD. Greatest common divisor means, now we have calculated just here about, let us calculate GCD of 4 comma 2. Okay, GCD of 4 comma 2. Now for this, first of all find out the factors of 4, that is 1 2 and 4. Factors of 2, 1 2. Now what are the common factors which divide both 4 and 2? 1 also divides both 4 and 2, and 2 also divides both 4 and 2. Out of this, which is the greatest common divisor out of 1 and 2? 2 is the greatest common divisor, so 2 is the GCD of 4 comma 2. In the same way, let us find out the GCD of 5 comma 3. Okay, now for this, factors of 5, which is 1 comma 5. In the same way, factors of 3, that is 1 comma 3. Now there is only a single greatest common factor. There is a common factor which divides both 5 and 3, that is 1. Therefore GCD of 5 comma 3 is 1. In the same way, GCD of 5 comma 4. Now here, look at here, factors of 5, that is 1 comma 5. In the same way, factors of 4, which is 1 comma 2 comma 4. Now the only only one would divide 5 and 4. Okay, because 5 is an odd number and 4 is an even number. If the GCD between the GCD of an odd and an even number is asked to be calculated there, then without any delay, please write there 1. Why? Because an even number would not be divisible by a odd number. An odd number would not be divisible by a even number. I mean, let us not understand in this way. Let us understand in the same way, because it may create confusion. So let us at first calculate the factors of both numbers and find out the common numbers which divides both of them, and out of them find the greatest common divisor which is dividing them, and write the GCD of that number. I hope you got. So for last one, calculate the GCD of 6 comma 3. Here factors of 6 is equals to 1 2 3 and 6. Factors of 3 is equals to 1 and 3. 1 and 3 are the numbers which divide both 6 and 3. So out of 1 and 3, 3 is the greatest number. So GCD of 6 comma 3 is 3. So in this way you will get it. So true. Now next one is 2 comma 4. For the equation 2 into 2 minus GCD 5 comma 2 is smaller than or equals to. Now GCD of 5 comma 2 is, it is the odd number, it is even number. 5 comma 2, calculate GCD of 5 and 1. GCD of 5 and 1, factors of 5 is 5 comma 1. GCD of 2 is 1 comma 2. Out of this is 2, 1 is the number. So GCD of 5 comma 2 is 1. Is smaller than 4. That is 3 is smaller than 2, which is true. 20 comma 2. The GCD of 20 comma 2 is 2. Calculate in the same way which I have taught you in the previous section. So 2 is smaller than, which is true. So among these three constraints, you have been, so read the theorem of frame size constraints. You have been there has been mentioned that all these three constraints should be satisfied in order to accept the frame size. Okay, 1 2 3, these three equations need to be satisfied. That means this all needs to be true. Now for f frame size is equals to 4. For 4 we are going to have 2 into 4. For equation 1, 2 into 4 minus GCD 4 comma 4 is smaller than is equals to 4, which is now 8 minus GCD of 4 comma 4 is 4, because 4 factors of 4 is 1 2 and 4. Factors of 4 is 1 2 and 4, or all divisible by both, and but 4 is the greatest number, which is true. Okay, now next one is 2 into 4 minus GCD of 5 comma 4 is smaller than is equals to 5. Now GCD of 5 comma 4 is 1. 8 minus 1 is 7, is smaller than is equals to 5, which is false. Now I already mentioned you that all these three constraints, 1 2 3, these three constraints need to be satisfied. But the first condition is satisfied here, it is true, but in the second case it is false. It means these three conditions should be true. If two conditions are true and the remaining third condition is false, then also the frame size is rejected. If these two, for let's say constant number 1 and 3 are true, but constant number 2 is false, then the selected frame size will be rejected. First, second, third, these three frame size constants must be true. Here the first constraint is true. Now second constraint is false, means if we get the third constraint as true also, then these frame size 4 this frame size 4 will be rejected. Why? Because all the constraints would not be true here, because second constraint has already been obtained as a false constraint, so it is rejected. So the remaining constraint is not checked, because if it, whether it is true or false, it does not matter us. Why? Because we cannot, now we will not get the get the frame size 4 as our required frame size. Why? Because it is not true for all the three constraints cases. Okay, now after this, if you go for 5, you will also find it rejected. Check yourself. Why? Because now be sure 2 is accepted true, it because all these three constants are true. Now in second case, we got first f is equals to 4, we got f is equals to 4 as true, but for the second case, second constant we got is at it, we got it as false, so it is rejected. Now higher, if we go higher in a higher way, then you will see your frame size is being rejected there, because your 4 is already, your frame size 4 is being rejected here. Why? Because the second condition is false here. Now if you go for 5, 100% it will be rejected. Why? Because your smaller frame size is not being accepted, means your higher frame size constant will be rejected. So higher the frame size, higher the probability your constraint will be rejected. So if your 4 is rejected here, then you need not to check for 5. Also for your confirmation, you can check for 5. So in this way, so the remaining constraint is not. Thus the frame size length or size which satisfies all the three constraints is 2, so the possible frame length or size is 2. So guys, in this way we solve the problem of frame size constraints. So like, comment and subscribe my channel, and press the bell icon for further notification. I'll upload the next example of frame size constraints in the upcoming video. Thank you.